I mean, that's what that cause of the circumstances. That is literally the predication of the actual situation. Is that people get into that situation where they try to they get into their own personal situation where they try to project that. And it's like that is really the recipe for an alleviation of peace. I think that truly actually does scale to, whatever level you want to look at it at, because that's the thing that gives you an excuse to do whatever you want to do, thinking that um people are out to get you, or that people have some level of threat to you. And it's just like that's literally like the worst way to go about things, because you're living a life where that becomes the reality. It becomes the reality in a place, and it puts you in a place where it's not wrong. That is the differential. That is the actual distance between the two sides of it. Because when you have a circumstance where you believe you are right, now anything is justified to make that so. Like people put themselves in situations where they become right. That is the truth. That is the truth of the matter, dude. So it's like those. I mean, fuck. God damn it. I mean, yeah, it should be avoided. It should be avoided at all costs, because it puts you in a position where now you are at some sort of differential with the thing that you're supposed to be doing. The thing that you're supposed to be doing was the actual, goalpost for your life. Now you're dealing with something else, and it's like that's always a waste of time. Anything that I've ever had in my life that actually brings you closer to that, to being caught up in the distraction of some other bullshit, that is the worst position to be in, because now you are playing a game that is ulterior to your actual progression in life. If you're caught up in some kind of activity that actually doesn't have any affiliation with what you're trying to do, no matter how oblique it is. That's the thing too. People will think that it's trivial. People will think that that's a meaningless statement, and actually it becomes the predication for most people's success or not in life. You spend time thinking about things that actually don't have any relevance to what you're trying to do. But most people do that like as a rule. Most people are spending most of their time doing nothing, except for they're caught up in some sort of mental exercise that is just people just want to expend energy. People people just want to burn calories, man. That's why so many people just go to the gym. They go to the gym every day for no fucking reason. They don't do anything. They just go and work out because people like to be busy. So people's minds like to be busy. So people like to be engaged in trivial nonsense. Most of the things that most people do is trivial nonsense. And that's the thing that I'm just loath to ever get involved. I'm loath to ever get involved in that type of shit because it's such a fucking waste. It's such a waste of time, like beyond anything. No, it's like it's really a tragic thing when you spend time doing nothing. But that's like the curse. That's the curse of humans' lives, because most people do that. Most people literally just do nothing. Like your whole life is literally doing nothing. Nothing. There's an infinite amount of forms of nothing, but it's just a reality where people are focused on something that doesn't have to do with anything that is actually the path that you want to be going down in life. It's like some sort of stupid waste. And I've done it. You know, I've spent years of my life doing that. Where you're worried about like social groups, or you're worried about, you know, somebody else's ideas for what you should do, all that type of shit, man. And it's like that's the thing I fucking, and now I'm saying, that's what I'm saying is that I, at this point in my life, I fear it. I fear it to an extent, but it's a type of healthy fear that keeps you away from getting stuck there.